When we talk about business success, we often focus on strategy, the plan, the roadmap, and the steps to achieve our goals. But what if I told you that something even more powerful is at play? There's a saying, culture eats strategy for breakfast, that illustrates the importance of corporate culture in day-to-day business practice. So if the success of strategies depends on underlying corporate culture, what would be more obvious than to make the corporate culture itself the strategy? Thus creating a nurturing environment in which other company strategies can unfold. The desired corporate culture should support the strategic orientation so that it can also find a higher level of acceptance among employees. If this cannot be achieved, the strategy becomes the victim of the culture, because culture has a more lasting cohesive effect than strategies. Strategies can be changed relatively quickly, whereas the change of culture requires an organic development that takes time, but can then have a lasting effect. The question which corporate culture is suitable for achieving the company's goals and strategies should be answered primarily by the leadership. However, this rarely succeeds without involving the employees, as they are often closer to the day-to-day business. Here are 7 ways in which leaders can positively influence the corporate culture and thus also the strategy. Number 1, living commitment. It takes more than words to change the culture. Employees can quickly tell if the leaders are truly behind the initiative or just delegating. Without visible commitment from the leadership, the change will fail. It must be clearly recognized that cultural development is a priority. Through commitment actions, the provision of resources, the involvement of qualification of employees, and regular discussions in everyday life. Number 2, project management, resources and roadmaps. Without systematic project management, cultural change efforts remain disconnected. Transparency, clear responsibilities, defined work packages, sophisticated resources, and internal know-how or external support are crucial. Visualizing pilots, evaluating, and systematic rollouts round off the process. Appropriate governance supports cultural development and regulates participation and implementation measures in order to ensure broad anchoring in the organization. Number 3, be a role model. Leaders must act as role models for the desired corporate culture. If the manager violates this, the cultural initiatives lose credibility. In addition to communicating the shared mindset, leaders must model the desired behavior in their daily lives. Employees observe them quickly. Walk your talk is crucial. Studies shown that setting an example is more effective than just talking about it. Measurable criteria and budgets are more likely for cultural factors reinforce the effects. This requires a high capacity for reflection, which can promote it through target concepts. Number 4, excellence process. Shaping corporate culture is a complex strategic process with several phases. It is driven from corporate goals, analyzes relevant cultural factors, develops a strategy, and implements it in projects that are translated into concrete processes. The process is regularly evaluated and is ongoing. The leader is responsible for overall process and should always be informed about process, even if subtasks are delegated. Number 5, governance structure. A suitable governance structure is crucial for large projects in order to ensure transparent, conflict-free processes in the involvement of all relevant stakeholders. Governance includes both corporate governance, which is closely linked to the corporate culture, and structures for the cultural development process. This includes definitions for roles, project structures, and form of implementation and reporting. This is the responsibility of the leaders. Number 6, audits, maturity levels, canvas, and roadmaps. Cultural development is not a classic project with a fixed end. It is a continuous process. Companies should constantly evolve, and it is important to make this process transparent. Management tools such as cultural audits from regular surveys, maturity levels to determine the current state of culture, a canvas for clear representation of goals and measures, and roadmaps that record process with important milestones. And number 7, monitoring. Cultural development should be monitored regularly. to align results with objectives. Culture development initiatives must be integrated into incentive, reward, and reporting systems to ensure suitable success. Measure rollouts should be evaluated and used as a feedback loop. Leaders must actively participate in order to steer development and demonstrate their commitment to cultural development. Leaders are responsible for the development of the company, and it is therefore their job to facilitate the corporate culture that best supports the long-term survival of the company. The corporate culture is central of this, and it forms the common foundation on which all company activities are built. A consistent and strong culture can ensure employees to identify with the company, improve cooperation, and thus increase the company's long-term success. Shaping the culture can therefore be seen as a central component for a corporate strategy. Leaders set the tone and model for the desired culture. The successful company will be the one that has a corporate culture that is valued internally and externally by its employees. Corporate culture can be shaped. Is it easy? No, but it is possible.